Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. First of all, thank you so much for all your support. We have already crossed 1000 subscribers. So thank you so much for that. And as I promised to come up with the fault handling videos. So this is the first error handling video I'm going to create. There will be many more in the sequence. So in today's error handling video, we will try to understand how errors can occur in SOA and how can we catch those errors. Let's start with the little bit of basics, not too much of bookish language. So what kind of faults can occur in SOA? So there are actually two types of faults defined. One is business fault and another one is runtime faults. So what can be a business fault? For example, you created a composite, and in that particular composite, what you are trying to do is you are trying to receive the data from one database first. So from one of the database table, you are, let's suppose, taking the employee information, okay, who are working in some particular department. But let's suppose if in one of the department there are no employees, okay. So in that scenario, you do not want to proceed further. And what you want to do is you want to stop your business process there itself and you want to throw an error. So that comes under business faults. Coming to the runtime fault, for example, whatever the composite you have designed in that composite while it was running, okay, that time, let's suppose there was an error. So let's suppose you were calling one composite from the another composite, and the second composite which you are calling is not actually running. It's actually in shutdown mode. So in that scenario also you will get the error. Those can be called as a runtime error or runtime faults. Okay. So let me try to demonstrate the complete process. And today we will try to cover the catch-all activity. Okay. So there are three activities which we can use to catch the faults. One is catch activity. Okay. Another one is catch all activity and another one is throw activity. So today in this video, we will talk about catch all. How by the use of catch all, we can catch the faults and use it in our composite. Okay. So let's directly go to the composite and let me tell you the scenario. So I have created one additional composite. This is just a very basic composite. What this composite is doing, this is just a BPL, a synchronous BPL. Inside this, if I'll go, it is having only two input variables. Okay. So in the input variables, if I'll show you, only two input variables are there, number one and number two. It will add those two variables because here you can see it's a plus sign, and the addition it will assign to my result variable. Okay. So that much only this particular composite is doing, and this composite is already deployed. So let me test it in front of you, what this composite is actually doing. So here is our additional composite. I'll just click on it and just test it. So let's suppose I have gave the number as 3 and 4. Just test the web service. And here you can see the result. This composite is working fine. Okay. Now what we will do is we will create another composite which will be calling this composite actually. So it is like our logic is defined in this composite, but we want to call this composite from our another composite. Okay. Let's create a new composite here. We'll go to SOA project. We can call it as caller. Okay. Caller add. Let's go to next. So let's leave it to BPL process only. We will make it as a synchronous and just press OK. After this, let's go to the schema first. This is the schema which got created. So as you can see in the process, we have only one input variable and one output variable, because from this particular composite, we are going to call our additional composite, which is going to add the numbers. Let's have two input variable to this as well, because we need to pass these input variables to our additional composite. So let's rename it as same, number one. As number two, the type also we are going to change. It will be integer. For this one, you can go for set type, and here you can select integer. Fine enough. For the result, let's make it also of integer type, because this will be the sum of the numbers. Okay, let's make it capital as well. And here itself, I'll create two more variables. Okay. The first variable, let's give it a name of error. The second variable, let's give it a name of instance ID. So this we will make it as of integer type. And this one, let's make it of string type. Okay. So this is how we are done with the schema. I'll let you know why these two variables we have created. Okay. So once we are done with the schema, now what we need to do is from this particular composite, we are going to call our additional composite, right? Because that will perform the job for us. So for that, what we need to use is we need to use a SOAP activity here. Okay, and here we need to pass the WSDL URL. So from where we can get the WSDL URL, we need to go over additional composite. And if you click here, it will give you the WSDL for your composite. So here is the WSDL itself. Okay. This WSDL we need to pass here and just press the tab button. That's it. So the port type already came addition. Okay. And press OK. Here also you can press OK. So this is how you can call one composite from another composite using the SOAP. Okay. So let's wire it. Go inside the Weeple. So here first we need to use the invoke activity. We will invoke this particular SOAP reference. We can call invoke add. So because using this invoke activity, you are going to call the additional composite. So you need to create the variable as well, because in the additional composite, you have variable of number one, number two, right? So let's create one input variable and one output variable for the result. Press OK, apply and OK. Here we will use the assign activity. So to assign numbers. Okay. So these are the input of your caller composite. So from the caller composite, you are going to pass number one, number two. And this number one and number two, we are sending to our additional composite, which is going to add the numbers. So straightforward mapping, just apply and OK. We are done. So from this particular composite, we will get the response, basically the addition of these two numbers. So that response we want to receive from this composite and we want to assign to the output of this particular composite. So let's go to assign, give it a name of, let's say, response. And we are getting the response from this composite. Okay, this result we will assign to our caller composite result. Just save it. As of now, there is no error handling. This is just the success scenario. Okay. So let me deploy this composite. This caller add, I will deploy this composite. Yeah, so to SOA server 1, we are going to deploy the composite. We can track the progress here of deployment. So here you can see the deployment is finished. So let's go to our enterprise manager and we will go to default SOA folder. We will see the deployed composites. So here is the caller add. We will test it. Same scenario, we are going to pass here 3 and 4 and we will test the web service. So you can see we got 7. Let me show you the launch flow trace as well. So what is happening? So from this particular Beeple process, okay, we are calling another composite, invoke add, which is adding these two numbers and giving the response, correct? And we are getting that response as here in the reply output, 7. Now let me create an error scenario here. So basically by the caller add composite, we are calling our additional composite. But let's suppose the additional composite is down. So we will forcefully make it down. Go to this additional composite and I'll make it shut down. So as you can see, you will not be able to create new instances of this composite. In addition, process of existing instance of this composite will stop. Okay. So this is how you can shut down a composite. So now you can see even you cannot test this composite. Okay. So basically when you will test your caller composite now, the caller composite will try to call this additional composite, and because this additional composite is down, you will get the error. So let me show you the scenario right now. This is down. Let's go to caller add and we will test this composite. We will pass same 3 and 4 here and we will try to test it. It's not completed. Web service invocation is failed. Okay. And you can see the faults are coming. Okay. Let me show you end to end what happened actually. If you will go to this composite again and see the flow instances in the last 24 hours and check for it, you can see the first one got successful, but this one is failed. If we click on this, click on our Beeple process, you can see the invocation got failed because of the remote fault. This is one example of remote fault, which is a part of runtime fault. Okay. So what all the things we are getting? We are getting a summary, we are getting the code, and we are getting the detail regarding this runtime fault, which occurred right now. But as there is no error handling in your composite is not completed end to end. Your flow instance is not completed. Now, let's try to catch this same error using the error handler. Before that, let me save it for you so that I can show you end to end. What we will do is we will save this part. Let's say completely the fault itself. Okay, we will save the fault. This is the fault which we got. So here is the summary, the code, and the detail. Now let's try to catch the same fault using the error handler in SOA. So now what we will do is we will go to our same caller. So let me tell you one more concept now. As of now, everything is inside a single scope, which is a parent scope or main scope. What is a scope? If I click here, see, it's a scope. You can add as many as child scope as well if you want. See, the scope is here. So in this, here you can see this is the catch block, add catch. Okay, this is the catch all block. So inside the catch block, you need to create a variable and you need to define which fault you want to catch. But inside the catch all, every fault will come. So let's see one more thing. Inside this Beeple right now, we have a receive input, which is responsible for receiving the input and then reply output. So the same reply activity we can use anywhere. If you want to reply directly from some particular point in the Beeple, you do not want to go till here because some error occurred, right? So what we can do is here itself, we will use the reply activity. This is the reply. Okay. And just drag and drop to here. So we can call it as, let's say, reply fault. Okay. And we need to create a variable. Instead of creating the variable, what you can use is you can use the same output variable of this Beeple. Click on apply and OK. Now let's use a assign activity. We can rename it to assign error. Okay. So to your output variable, to this error message or the error, okay, you want to assign the same fault which we saw just now. Okay, so how we can do that? Let's go to the advanced functions. In the advanced function, SOA already gave you one function and the function name is get fault as string. Just click on this, insert into expression, and that's it, job done. It will give you the complete fault information, and that complete fault information you are assigning to your error message. What is the use of instance ID? Whenever you are triggering an instance, you can see this 60010. These are the flow IDs. These also you can catch. How you can do that? Go to this assignment once again. Same thing. Go to the advanced functions. Here you have get flow ID. You can see this get flow ID. Just use it. Okay. Apply and okay. So we are done with the error handling using the catch-all block. Okay. There can be multiple ways of doing this. I'll let you know very soon. Let me complete this particular demonstration first. So I'll just save it. Okay. And again, I will redeploy this. So now as you can see, the deployment is finished. So let's go back to our enterprise manager. Okay. So as you can see, the additional composite is still down. So obviously we will get the error, but this time we are handling that error. So let's test it. And we will say same thing, 3 and 4. And we are going to test the web service. You can see it did not got errored out. It is request successfully received and you got the error. You got the flow ID. Let me tell you what's happening. Go to launch flow trace. Errors still came. Okay. But this time you handled the error. So what happened is while you were invoking, right? After the invoking, it got errored out. So after the invoke, it directly went to the catch-all block. If I'll show you here, after the invoke, it should have gone to here. But because the invoke got errored out, so at any particular moment, when it will get errored out, it will directly go to the catch-all block. Okay. Inside the catch-all block, you are using the assign activity, and inside that you are using the functions to catch that error and as well as the flow ID. So in the reply block, let me just copy paste the same thing and we will compare it. Earlier we got this particular error. Now, if you see properly, the summary, it is same. We are catching the summary. The code, it is also same. And the details, it is also same. So this is how using the catch-all block, you can actually catch any kind of errors which are coming inside your Beeple. Okay. What could be the another implementation or basically in the project time environment? So in the project time environment, what happens is nobody likes to come to this enterprise manager again and again. And what they want is there a way that they should not come to this enterprise manager and check the flow instances and directly if they will come to know what all the errors are coming and in which particular flow ID? Why I'm saying in the flow ID? Because let's treat a real-time scenario. In the real-time scenario, no one is going to come to enterprise manager and test your composites. In the real-time scenario, the composites will be always scheduled. So let's suppose a composite is scheduled for every 30 minutes. Okay. So every 30 minutes, if a composite is scheduled in a single day, okay, your composite is going to run for 48 times. So if this kind of scenario is implemented in your project, okay, so out of those 48 runtime scenarios, let's suppose the error occurred only in 2 scenarios. Okay. And here you can see in all the flow ID, the flow state is completed. So basically for all 48 flow IDs, the flow states will be completed. Now, if you want to check in which particular flow ID or in which particular flow we got the error, the only way you are left with is you need to go to each and every flow ID, open it, and then check in which particular it got error out. Instead of that, what you can do is in this particular catch-all block, here you can invoke one database. Okay. So in the database, you can create an audit table, and inside that audit table, what you can do is you can store your flow ID in a column in your audit table named as flow ID, and then you can catch your error, and the error also you can assign to one of the column into your table. So then what happens, the monitoring person who is going to monitor your composites, only they need to do is they need to go to audit table. Inside that audit table, they will directly query for select star from audit table, and they will see only those two flow IDs. Is still because they have the flow ID, they can directly come up here and they can directly search only those flows using the flow ID. The person will go inside that flow and they will come to know what is the error and at which particular point they got the error. So this is how you can handle any kind of errors using the catch-all block. Now the next thing will be the catch block, how you can handle the errors using the catch block, and how you can handle the errors using the throw activity. So all these things I will be discussing in the further videos, and I'll be creating those videos very soon. And thank you so much for watching. If you do like this video, please click on the like button. And I would be needing one more suggestion. I am just thinking to change the name of the channel. So if you can suggest any good name for this channel, please do comment. So thank you so much and keep watching the videos. Please subscribe to the channel. Thanks a lot.